So look, I'm talking about this hair follicle test that they may pass that I'm pretty sure that they're going to pass because most of the companies are already requiring a hair follicle, and whenever other companies are just doing the urine, like Prime Inc, we're just doing urine test. Well, I believe that they're going to step it up to the hair follicle because a lot of companies are already have it. Now, the law that I've been seeing is that they can only go back 90 days. I have also Tennessee Flatbetter in the house. He's going to introduce everybody he has with him.
So today we've got, you guys know, Mr. Tire Guy himself, Dalton. And then we've got my son, Monkey.
Hello.
So he has a full house over there, and they might be able to chime in on what they think is right. Um, as for the hair follicle test, I think that it wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and start doing hair follicle tests. They're only going back 90 days. Just like the urine test, pretty much you had to pretty much not be doing anything for 90 days to go ahead and get stuff out of your system. I don't think that it's going to hurt anybody in that factor. What'd you think, Tennessee?
Well, knowing what they do on the hair follicle test, I think it's going to have to be longer than that, because they don't take the root; they cut it just at the scalp. So hair grows pretty fast, but I think 90 days is a little less, like not even enough time. So it needs to be a little
Yeah.
longer than 90 days.
And I was doing some research on the amount of hair they take and stuff like that. I was doing different researches where all they can take it from, stuff like that. So it's going to be about the size of a pencil lead width that they're going to take. So it's actually a bigger piece of strand of hair than I thought. I thought that they just like grabbed some tweezers, popped out one, and they said, "Hey, here you go." But they actually take a kind of a lock. And for you guys that are like, I'll just shave my head, they're going to take it from your beard, especially around the neck right here. They say is a good spot. Um, if you don't have no hair there, they're going to take it from your beard. If you shave your entire body because you think you're slick, don't forget to shave your armpits. Don't forget to shave like everything because they can use your pubes, everything. And they're going to find some hair somewhere. Like they'll take your nose hair, your ear hair, whatever. And I think that there's way less chance of them to have a false positive test this way because you hear about people all the time taking urine tests and they get a false positive. How about medical stuff like pills and stuff like that, Tennessee? What you feel on that? Like if they were prescribed some medication, should they keep their like prescriptions and their doctor's notes that say, "Hey, I'm taking this"?
Yes, they need to have all documents saying what the doctor subscribed to them. They might have to have a list or the bottles themselves with labels showing that they're prescribed and how often they're supposed to take them.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're here to protect our CDLs
Oh,
and keeping up with that information, like keeping a track record of that information in case you get into a problem with that is good to have it on file somewhere. So make sure you're keeping up with that information. Like I worked for the state of Texas, and if we got drug tested and it wasn't on our file already that we were taking a prescription med, we were getting terminated. So what you had to do is say like I got put on, like say I had a surgery, I got put on some pain medication and it was a narcotic. First off, I would ask the doctor, I would be like, "Hey, can you give me something non-narcotic and still give me a doctor's note?" And you would have to send it to human resource and get it on file because if they didn't have it on file and you got drug tested and it was in your system, they're going to terminate you no matter what because you didn't tell them that you were on that. And with your CDL and driving out here, I think that it's a good idea to report any kind of narcotic that you're on because the company might not want you driving or it might not be safe for you to drive on that medication. Right?
I believe so. Yeah.
So I mean, it's a good ideal to. It's gonna be more work. You're gonna have to keep up with your doctor's notes, stuff like that. Make sure they're on file, different stuff like that.
I feel like it's
And
kind of like you get pulled over, and you have medication in, say, your purse or in the vehicle itself, and it's not registered to you, or it's not in your name. You're starting to get questioned. Why do you have this? If it's not like on file, like you were saying, then it should be taken care of immediately.
oh snap, pulling butt cheek hairs, Jesus! Hey,
Reading
they'll
chat.
take that hair. They'll take that hair where they can get it. Yeah, and even okay. So this week, Tennessee Flatbedder, Steven, his son, and Dalton right there. We went to a Twisted show and we had an awesome time. Now
Oh
we
yeah.
didn't know that the bar was closed, but Tennessee Flatbedder and we called up Dalton and we said, "Hey, you're coming to this concert, man, because if there's an open bar, you're gonna have to drive us home." And so we already planned ahead and said, "Hey, we got a designated driver." And pretty much what I did to make it right is I said, you know what, I'll buy your ticket so you will drive for us. So we gave Dalton right there. We say you're driving and we'll get your ticket, just to make it a little bit more fair. Because Dalton is a stand-up guy. He was all like, "Man, you want me to drop y'all off and come back and pick y'all up?" And we're all like, I was like, "No, man, you're coming to the concert, bro. You're gonna be driving us home." And that's the best play for somebody with a CDL, because if you're gonna do a little bit of drinking, any at all, like go ahead and get that designated driver set up, because it's or get a Uber. $20,000 in lawyer fees to get a CDL off CDL to get a DWI off your record versus $20 for a Uber ride. What's better? What'd you think, Tennessee?
I think having an Uber ride or a DD is better.
Yeah. And Dalton, did you have any problems with that little deal we made? Hey, we'll buy your ticket, you drive us home.
Absolutely not. I mean, like, I can't really count off the top of my head, but there's thousands of deaths of like a year just by drinking and driving, driving under the influence at all. And it takes little effort to either get a DD or download an app. They have an app now to get a DD.
They have an app?
The
No more
Uber,
free tickets for you, bro. No more free concert tickets for you. You ruined it. I'm going on the app.
there you go.
And you'd be surprised how many truck drivers do actually drink and drive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because when I worked for that towing company, picked up all kinds of wrecks. Intoxicated, lose their CDL, they get arrested. I mean, it just ain't worth it.
No, it's not. And that sucks, man. Like you're picking up their trucks and you're all like, "Man, what happened? Dude was intoxicated driving." You're all like, "Man, that dude just probably lost his job and he's in a lot of trouble." And you know, getting a bad drug test while you have a CDL or getting a DWI and stuff like that, you can actually take classes. And what's it called? I can't remember what it's called, but you can go to these classes and they'll make you take drug tests like every 4 months. But there is a way to go ahead and get that removed from your CDL so you can still drive. It's just for a while you're going to be able to only pull those little companies that will hire you at that time, because most people will not touch you with that on your record. P Matt says one DWI in North Carolina is 12 years ago. Man, that's hard, bro. That's hard.
Oh yeah.
Chris says, "What's up, y'all?" Pegleg has says, "I've arrived. Let's blow the lemonade stand." Let drivers take the truck home 400 miles from the terminal. Yeah, for the most part, that's between you and your fleet manager. So go ahead and kind of set that up with him. The more you're driving for your fleet manager, the more he's going to be able to go ahead and help you out with that. From Facebook, we have Sarah Cox. She says, hello.
Hello, Sarah. Not she's watching anymore. I don't know.
Dalton's like, whatever. You know Sarah Cox from Facebook? He's like, whatever. Truck and Trailer says, what's going on, everybody?
What's going on?
Drugs we testing what drugs are we testing today? None. And if the clearinghouse does pass this, so the FM oh, it's a bunch of letters. Tennessee, what's the letters? FMC FMCSA. If they go ahead and push this with the clearinghouse, then it doesn't matter how long you've been driving, if you haven't had a hair follicle test on file, then they're going to require that for you to keep driving. So, even you guys that live in areas, what about home time, Tennessee? Can you go to a home time and take a vacation to, we'll say, Colorado, where it's recreational is legal? And can you go ahead and like toke it up, bro? And
as of right now, that'd be a negative.
Big negative.
Yep.
Why do you think that is?
Because they don't have a test yet to see how long it's been since you've taken it. So, like, if you go to Colorado and you partake in some recreational, they can't tell if it's been 2 hours, 12 hours, or 24 hours, or 48 hours. You get the shift of that part, but they're getting a test out there. It's a mouth swab. They have it for alcohol already, and they're coming close to getting it ready for recreational marijuana. But the government right now still has it on decriminalized. Once they decriminalize it, and then all states can have it recreational or medical, then DOT will start looking at letting us do it on our home time. But other than that, it's still a no-go.
Okay. And I don't know how to say it. I call them
E-Tech.
E-Tech. That's what I call them. E-Tech says there isn't a single thing to fake out hair follicle test. They can detect shampoos trying to strip away anything. So I've done research on this too. I'll let you go. Okay, let me finish. I've done my research on this about bleaching your hair, dyeing your hair, trying to strip this out of your hair, and all of that. And what I found out is that it will still detect whatever you do. And, that there's no way, you're exactly right. There's no way to get rid of it out of your hair. So there's no way to fake it. Tennessee, what were you going to say, brother?
I said I was agreeing with you. There is no way to get it out of your hair, regardless. They're gonna see that you try to use a chemical to get rid of it, and then they're gonna question you even more.
Exactly.
It's the same with a urine test. Some urine tests can tell, okay, a male's taking a urine test, and it shows up more hormones from a female. They're going to go, okay, yeah, you used a female's urine to take your test. Or they even have on ours at Prime, they have a temperature gauge. So the temperature has to be at the right body temperature too when they take that sample. If it's cold, they're going to say, where was it at? And they're going to try to search you for it.
So E-Tech, or what we were calling E-Tech, is short for scratch.
Scratch?
Or sketch.
Sketch. Okay.
My bad.
Read.
I'm reading Tennessee's writing right there, it feels like. He texted me before the live today, and I was confused. I was like, what do you mean? Peglexo says, if the follicle test happens, don't think shaving beats it. A friend shaved his entire body and hair taken from the rear end crack. Yeah, you know, they'll get it. They'll get some hair from somewhere. That would be embarrassing. They're all like, "We got to find some hair somewhere." You know, like I would probably forget to shave my toes. I got some hairy toes, so like, could you imagine them plucking the hair off my toes? That'd be weird. It's better than them saying, "Bend over and spread them. Let's see if you got a hair in there."
Hey, and they'll do
What
it.
you- Tennessee, you're gonna have to check me later. I want to know if I got any hair back there because that's kind of weird. I might need to wax that.
That's going to be a no. You can have Sarah do that.
Bro, I thought we were brothers, man.
We're brothers, but not that close, brother.
Dalton, what you? Anytime you.
Yep.
Oh.
P Matt says 4 times in 4 years driving trash truck. I don't know what that is. John Wick. Hey, I love the movies, man. John Wick says 2 months sober, still testing positive on the home test for THC. And John Wick, go ahead and just wait 3 months and then take it, man. Like, you know, I know you're trying for a better life, and I know that you're like, man, I'm ready to get a new start at life, but it's going to take you another month more than
And the
likely.
thing is, THC is stored in your fat cells. So, unfortunately, the bigger you are, the longer it's going to take for it to get out of your system.
Yeah. Han says follicle is already happening. Not that I haven't heard that this passed yet. If I don't know, I haven't heard that it passed. Have you heard anything, Tennessee? I've been
Not on
researching
our
it.
end, it hasn't. Most jobs are. I've heard a couple of guys say that they came to Prime because the other companies they were going to try to go for was doing hair follicles.
Yeah. P Matt says town job. They said it was random, but mostly who they didn't like. Yeah, look, I get random every once in a while. Like I take probably about one. No, let me take that back. I take anywhere from about 2 to about 6 tests a year for drugs. And the other day in inbound, like I was super tired from going to the Twisted concert. Tennessee and I, we pretty much got home about 2 a.m. And then after 2 a.m., we tried to sleep, but we were so pumped up from the concert and stuff. We couldn't really sleep. And everywhere I went that day, like my whole work day, I was like, I'm on 3 or 4 hours of sleep. I was dead. So everywhere I went, people were all like, "Are you okay?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm just tired, man. I was out all night at a concert." And they're like, I was like, "Man, I'm about to get drug tested again just because I'm tired."
Yeah, I thought that too as soon as we got back.
Discord app. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Discord app. Whenever we hit 3,000 subscribers on this channel, I'm going to be giving away a hat over there in the Discord. Thank you, Tennessee, for dropping the Discord link. Make sure y'all are in there because I don't want the one hat that goes to Discord to miss out on an opportunity to get there. We will also be giving away about 3 hats during the stream after 3K subscribers. And where was I putting the last one?
You were going to put them in your members page.
Oh, that's right. Click the join button down there and join as a member to the channel for $2.99 a month and cancel at any time. Wait till I get 2,999. Hit the join so you can be entered into that, and then you cancel it the next month. So you're not paying it all the time, but that's another chance to win a hat. So really you can have 5 chances to win a hat, because if you're in the Discord, if you're in the join, and if you're in the live that night, you got 5 chances to win the hats. Go ahead and up your chances to hit them. They're going to be red, and I have no idea what color the emblems are going to be yet. They are hats that look like this right here. Tennessee Flatbedder has one. I don't know, Tennessee. What you think on the quality of them? Are they all right? Are they?
I think they're pretty good quality. I
So
personally like the fitted hats, but the snapback is actually pretty good.
okay. Yeah, I would rather have the fitted too, but the thing is it was gonna cost too much to buy
Yeah,
a bunch of
it'd be
sizes.
hard trying to get people sizes and doing the giveaway like that.
Yeah, it's hard. We got a question for Dalton. It says tire question. What's the scalloping and what caused it? I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Galloping?
Yeah.
Not sure what you mean. There's a lot of these people a lot of people come up with their like own terms for what happens to a tire. Um are you talking about chunking? Are you talking about river wear? Um Also, are we talking about trailers? Are we talking about trucks?
So
Yeah,
and
I'm
leg,
gonna
you're
have to get Dalton out there to make this video I've been planning for a while, and it's about truck tire safety that I'm planning on making, and I need to buy him another concert ticket to somewhere because you know what? He gets in the mosh pit, so I'm gonna be like, I'll buy you a concert ticket if you come out here and help me with this video. And I will be doing a video about different wear and tear on the tires. So I'm hoping that he's done a lot of research on why stuff looks like certain stuff or what to look for on a tire to know if it's wearing on the inside, if it's wearing in the middle, if it's wearing to the outside. Hopefully he can enlighten us. So probably needs to do some homework now because I'm not a cheap person on a ticket. He's going to work hard for it. And he's still going to drive me home because he's my DD.
I'm also TIA certified through OSHA.
Those are big letters. What does that mean?
TIA certified means just tires in general. You're able to change the tire. You're able to do it safely and appropriately. You're able to do basically everything under OSHA. OSHA approves you to change that tire. Just like if you're working in construction, if you were needed certifications to run certain equipment, get under things, get on top of things, get on scaffolds, and
scalpels.
scalpels. Yep.
It is Halloween.
But so it's
Tennessee,
just
are you making fun of my double D's? LOL. Peg. That's what Peg Leg said.
I was trying to read that and understand that peg leg. It didn't make sense to me right now, but
It didn't me either. From Rando person. Is that Chumley?
You know, that's not the first time I've heard that.
Dude, I would have never even put two and two together till I read it. I read that and I looked over there and I said, oh. Thank you, random person.
random person.
You got an impersonation before we move on?
No.
You gotta have an impersonation. When you heard it that like a couple times, like it would be awesome if you could do an impersonation right now.
I'll have to work on it.
Then maybe the
Yeah,
next.
we'll be expecting it. That is horrible. That's great. Han says, no one wants my opinion on people who do drugs and drive before getting into a semi truck.
Yeah, we could have your opinion. We were going to have the same opinion on anybody that does any drugs or any alcohol and then gets behind that wheel.
Yeah.
Trucking
and Trailer says common sense is not doing anything that will hurt your CDL. They are hard to get and easy to lose.
Oh yeah.
I agree with that.
I kind of also look at it as if you're walking into like say the tire bay and you ask yourself, should I be wearing like, safety glasses, steel toe boots? Then you probably should. It's just like I should get a DD before I drive. and then continue to drive after you've had something or you've drank something, it's kind of on you.
Yeah, so it's kind of about your own responsibility. You know what you need to do. Go ahead and do it.
So I see
We're
you just put a
responsible
poll up.
adults. Go ahead, Tennessee.
I said, I see you just put a poll up.
Oh yeah, I went ahead and put a poll up because I was wondering if people agree with the hair follicle or should we just stick to the urine. As somebody that might be getting into trucking, Dalton, what do you think? Do you think it's the hair follicle is going to be better or the urine, or do you just not care?
It's honestly, I'm kind of in between because whatever they do, it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it honestly depends on the person. If you're gonna continue to look for a trucking company that only does urine tests, should you really be, behind the wheel?
Yeah.
What about you, Monkey? I know you're trying to get your CDL eventually.
What?
I say stick to the urine. And I only say that because if you're starting to get your CDL, what does it matter what you did 90 days ago? Why do they need to look back that far? If they piss test you currently enough, you should be fine.
Right. So
Okay,
far on
so
this side, it's urine.
so urine. Well, if you're trying to clean up, don't you have to be clean for like 90 days anyways because they're looking for 90 days back?
Something was said very funny over here, and then we all caught it at the same time, so we started laughing.
So sorry.
Let's hear it.
It ain't for this channel.
Oh.
We're PG. We're PG.
People nowadays have zero common sense. Yeah, kind of. I agree with that. Random drug test. I don't have a problem with random drug tests. Any of y'all have a problem with a random drug test?
No, I don't have a problem with a random drug test because I have nothing to hide.
Uh-oh, random person, the Chum Lee guy, says, I'm pretty sure I could brand my butt cheeks hair so they have plenty to choose from.
Bucks.
Oh. Well, we're going to have to find out that source real quick.
Find out what
I know
source.
who random person is, but
Random person is one of y'all's friends.
I have a feeling that's the case.
One can get a random anytime the company thinks you need one.
Mm-hmm.
I
I've
agree.
even seen our PSDs 2 days in and have a random. I've had two of my students when they're going outbound. They look at your truck and then they pull up every person that's on your truck. And if there's a random, they say, "Hey, is this person with you?" They have a random drug test that need to be done.
Yeah, and I've had the same. My students have been tested before, and they're not even employees technically, but they've had to go take a random test. Han says that some places the drug testers even hold it while you take a piss test. That's a little bit extreme, bro. I think you were in a massage parlor, not a drug test facility.
Some of them will do that if you've had a history of it. If you've had a history of trying to get past the P test, they will stand in there with you.
You sound like there's somebody holding it for you one time. My client will not admit or deny any allegations. He's pleading the fifth.
Go.
Twisted Big D, not only on your last live, I was in the middle of nowhere in Montana, had 1 bar of signal. My truck died and I had to get jumped off the next morning.
Ooh.
Man, you were just having some trouble, RJ. And the prime truck next to me had no jumper cables. RJ, why do you not have your own jumper cables, man? Come prepared, brother. Like, I have some jumper cables, man. Like, I can use my reefer to jump off my truck. Flatbed cannot do that, by the way. So that's one of the negative things about going to flatbed. I gotta mute those guys over there because they'll be talking some trash here in a minute. But yeah, flatbed is not as great, so they can't jump off their trailers, their trucks with their trailers.
Cut me out of the way. If it's Dalton, you can do that.
Christopher says just
Christian
doing
food.
pre-trip with Bob. So Christopher decided that he was going to call all the guys last night and get them down there to do pre-trip. He just forgot to press send on his message, so nobody got the message. And he's trying to flex and say, "Look, we're doing pre-trip tonight, buddy." Sarah Cox says Daniel loves the mosh pit. Yeah, and you know what drives me nuts about going to a concert? Dalton, hold on. Come back. So, what drives me nuts on going to a concert is that people will say, and I told Dalton this on the ride home whenever we went home, when he gave me a ride home, because I left my car at home because I was getting drove around. But I told Dalton, I said, man, what drives me nuts is going to a concert with somebody that says, I'm going to get in the mosh pit. I'm going to get in there. We're going to throw people around. And we get to the concert and I see the mosh pit and I'm like, let's go to the mosh pit. And they're following me till we get to the mosh pit. And I get to it and they disappear. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to have fun. You know, I got anger problems just like everybody else. And it's just something feels good about pushing a guy down in the mosh pit and picking him up and saying, yeah, man, like, it's like some hardcore love, man. And Dalton's the man. He went right. I didn't even ask him. He never said, hey, I'm going to get in a mosh pit. We went to the concert and I was like, hey guys, I'm probably going to get in the mosh pit. And I was like, I'm a little bit too old to be in the mosh pit. I got a lot of gray in my beard. And I look back and Dalton's in there. You have fun in the mosh pit, Dalton?
Oh yeah. I mean, I didn't really get too into it because it was such a small mosh pit. But I mean, I got pretty much in the outside ring of it. I got to push a couple people around. It was pretty fun.
And this is what Pegleg meant whenever he was talking about his comment earlier about scalloping. I think that's how you said it. I meant uneven tread where tread has peaks and valleys around the tire. An old timer told me it was called scalloping.
That's chunking.
Chunking and river wear.
No, he's not. He's not talking about chunking. He's talking about whenever the tires used to wear down in different spots on the tire, like it wasn't even.
Yep.
You ever look at a tire, the tread of a tire, and notice that there's like some of the treads worn this way, some's worn that way, some's worn that way, like across all the treads.
Yep. So some of us tire guys call it river wear. People have their own, definitions of it, whether they want to call it. But that could be a number of things that causes that. It could be either uneven tread depth on the opposite side or the tire in front, if it is a rear tire. You mainly see it on front tires because they got moved from the back to the front because of that wear. The heavier tire wants to sit in the back because that's going to be your heaviest axle. It could be the load that you're carrying. It also could be an alignment issue with your drives. There's all sorts of things that could cause that. I've seen it most in where they have uneven tread depth. So you got, say, for example, you got a 20-30 second in the left rear, and you have a 5-30 second in the right front. That right rear is going to start to river wear because it's trying to keep up with that left front, make up for what it's lacking.
Yeah.
It's gonna sit and kind of tilt. It's gonna bounce a little bit. It's gonna tilt. It's gonna bounce a little bit.
Yeah.
Kingpin do that. If your kingpin's loose, it'll make your child.
Yep.
Make it wear funny. Gonzalez, actually, Fitcher, where's the fun, right? Has a CDLA. Congratulations, man. Hopefully you can pass a hair follicle test. Gonzalez says, yes, brother, they are right. You do look like Chumley.
I figured out who it was.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not good to be on drugs or drinking, especially in Texas when you're literally lose everything for a DWI. Yes, you know, it's not worth your CDL, man. It's really not. But it is like if you do mess up and you do that, definitely get ready to pay like 20 grand to get that fixed or about, because you have to get a good lawyer to fix that. And be a company owner who won't really have to deal with that sort of stuff if you are an owner op. And the owner ops are going to have to do this hair follicle too, because it's a clearinghouse thing. Like the owner ops, from my understanding, when you get your own authority, you have to take a drug test, even though you're working for your own company. They still make you do a drug test for the clearinghouse. I just had a friend that got his own authority, and he had to go take a drug test to work for himself. So you will. Now, the only thing that was good is that he didn't have to take random drug tests, because it's up to him who he drug tested on his own authority. Just do the year, and I don't know why we need to do hair follicles. It's a little extra. You know, it is extra, but I think it's keeping it's going to keep people more clean. I think that is going to keep people from messing up, really. Most people think it's okay to do pot, but the FMCSA is a federal mandated, and truck drivers have no abide by federal laws, not state laws. Yeah, and you're right. We have to abide by the federal laws. We cannot think that because we're in a state that allows it, we are safe. And I got a couple comments on that video I made that said, hey, if I'm on vacation in another state, it's okay that I can smoke some weed over there, because guess what? It's legal over there. And I was like, no, it's not. Stick with your ear and don't do hair follicles. It's a little extra. Oh, I think I read that one.
Yeah.
Owner ops have to the clearinghouse and still have to. I read that one too. Pegleg says, I said urine test, fine either way. If you don't want to drive a truck, get calm, stay clean, and be an adult. Yes, don't risk your CDL, man. That's the title of this live. Don't risk your CDL for the drugs or the drinking. Make sure that you protect your CDL. Make sure that you're not risking it on nothing. Tennessee, what you think?
I believe the same thing. It's just like anytime I do drink, I have somebody to drive me, because I get pulled over in my personal vehicle for drinking and driving. That affects my CDL too.
David Smith was told by a company today they do hair testing and it goes back 9 months. David, look into it, because as far as I know, all the research I have done said that the hair follicle test goes back a long time, but that they're only federally allowed to go back 3 months on a hair follicle test. You might want to do some research. Tennessee, you know more on that?
I know about as much as you do on it.
I thought hair follicle goes back to 10 years.
But federally, they can only go back so far, just like a criminal record. They can only go back so far.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
What did he say? How far can they go back?
That's a spinal tap.
Spinal tap. I do not want a drug test of a spinal tap. That would suck.
Yeah.
That's too expensive.
Yeah.
Have you had a spinal tap drug test?
No.
I don't even know. That exists?
Yes.
That's how they can test for
That's the only way they can test for
LSD.
LSD.
Wow. Wow.
That's why
'Cause it
whenever you
stays in your
hear,
system forever.
that's why whenever you hear people like stories about people popping their back and they get like an acid flashback or something like that, because it stays in your spinal
Spinal fluid.
Oh, I need to pop my back more. Hans says I had to do a hair follicle test a few weeks ago, but since I don't do drugs, I'm not worried about it. Yeah,
That's the thing is if you don't have nothing to worry about, then what does it matter?
yeah, exactly. You know, if you're not doing it, this doesn't even affect you. So, like, don't even trip about it. You just got to be careful with those prescription meds subscribed by a doctor. Make sure that you see YA on that stuff. Y'all young guys go over the road, then first, then think about local. Yeah, a lot of people, they'll come over out here OTR and then they'll go local. You're exactly right. Now, the problem with going local is it's a pay cut. Once you've been over the road, you kind of see that good money. You kind of like that local money's not the best unless you find a great company to go for. David Smith says, same here. What stopped me was the automatic restriction because they train in automatics and you do the exam in automatic. David Smith, you're right there. We're at Prime, we're automatic pretty much almost 100%. The problem is that we don't have many manual trucks anymore to do it in a manual. If you want to get the automatic restriction removed, Prime does have a program that you can take. You have to kind of do some training. Like you're pretty much gonna lose some mileage, some pay that you could have been making just to take time off to go ahead and learn the manual and get tested on it. It's kind of like, I don't think it's that great of a deal myself, but you can get it removed. Local is harder than OTR. I have not done local. I can't really speak on that, but what I've been looking at is local is a lot of unloading yourself. Any of y'all done local? Tennessee's on mute, so automatic transmission testing is bull. Yeah, I wish there was still a choice in it. John Gonzalez says, what's up, people coming from you at California Travel Plaza off of I-5.
Nice.
Junior Honduras with the thumbs up, man. What's going on, Junior Honduras? He had a student that I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, his student trifecta. I think he's out there on TNT. His student was really cool. The morning of the test, I was out there. I ended up parking a few feet from him, and his student was walking around nervous. And I was like, "What's going on, brother, man?" He was all like, "Man, I'm nervous." I said, "Don't be nervous." I said, "Don't be nervous. Just treat it like another day. Just pretend that Junior's out there and he's the one running you through the test. Just do it the way he taught you, man. You'll pass every time." And as far as I know, he went out there in trifecta. Really cool guy. I don't remember his name. Awesome dude. But Junior was out there for a little while testing it, working with this guy, testing him out. Probably almost done with the mileages by now. Brian says, guys, you should have let all the different Prime Inc. Facebook pages know what time you're doing these lives and starting so we can have more people in here to support an awesome channel. Brian, thank you. I do it ever so often. The problem with it is I don't want to feel like I don't want to feel like I'm spamming people with the shares of the live. Like I don't want to just keep throwing it in there because it'll make it feel like I'm just spamming for new members and stuff like that. If you stumble across my channel, man, that's awesome. Stick with it and keep watching. Make sure that you also check out Tennessee Flatbedder over there. He has a great channel. For you new guys, definitely check out Tennessee Flatbedder's new video tonight. From what it looks like on that thumbnail, after the stream, it will redirect you into his video. And from what the thumbnail looked like is that he has some boots and some hey dudes and all kinds of stuff. And there's no way possible to fit all of that into one bag, but somehow by miracle, it looks like he's fitted in there. I have not seen the video yet, so I'm just guessing. Tennessee, you got anything to say on that?
Yeah, it all fit in that little bag, and that's all fits up there where you're going to sleep when you come into PSD and TNT.
Tennessee really knows how to pack a bag.
I've had to pack for motorcycle trips, saddlebags smaller than that bag that I show on the video.
The only guy that I
Why's
know-
Chumley laughing over there?
Do what?
I said, why is Chumley laughing over there?
Because he's saying that I'm the only person he knows that can fold a pair of chaps and put it in a pair of saddlebags too.
I believe it.
They're all asses.
Han says most mega carriers test on automatic transmission. They really screw the new drivers. Hans, I put out a video about Prime doing the automatic transmission and how much it's pretty much that you're going to end up on an automatic truck. You might be a lucky person and end up on a manual truck, but it looks like most people are doing the automatics. And, you know, to me, as of right now, with all the laws, I would have to check on my state and see if they require me to surrender my CDL to redo my test and everything to get that restriction off. I would definitely do research on this situation and see what my state required. Because if my state required me to surrender my CDL, take the 14 days off to go ahead and learn everything again or get put into a school that's like, we got to teach you how to back and drive and all that stuff. Like, I really don't want to do that. I really just want to take a test. Like, hey, see if my state just lets me take a test with the manual transmission, not have to go through a school and redo everything. Tennessee, you feeling the same way on that, or would you want to redo everything?
I feel the same way. I feel like if you want to drop that restriction, just like Missouri, we don't have that where you have to surrender it. If you want to take it off, you can just retake the test, road test in a manual, and that'll relift that restriction off of you.
Junior Honduras says new drivers don't want to learn manual. You know, and I've seen that before, Junior. I'm telling you right now, I've seen that, and I'll agree with that. Whenever we first started doing the automatic transmissions tests on that, you would get a student and they would say, do you have automatic truck? And you would say yes. And they would be like, whew, thank God. And whenever they said that, you knew you had a bad student. Straight up, you knew you had a bad student because you had a guy that wanted to do the bare minimum to get a CDL. And it was, as soon as I would hear a question like that, it would just irk me because I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be a lot of work. This guy wants to do the bare minimum. It was kind of rough during that time. Tennessee, were you testing people out on the manual, or did you come in, or did you start training after we went to automatics?
I started training after we went to automatics.
Oh, you missed out on reserving the pad trucks, man. That was the best thing. I'd always get that black on black truck because that thing looked sweet, man. Like it was a black truck with black decals. I was all like, man, that's my truck right there. I would always try to reserve that truck. It was a pain though, because you had to request pad time and you had to request the truck for pad time.
I remember that because I don't have a restriction on my license. I remember that when my brother-in-law had to do it.
Yeah, the restriction's not good if you're planning on going back home and doing local and trying to find a job. It kind of handicaps you a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I've never lied to y'all on this channel, and I've always told y'all how I really feel. I don't tell y'all to come to Prime. I tell y'all to do research, and I've always been honest with y'all. And I think that y'all do need to know that. I'm glad we brought that up tonight, and we've been talking about the manual transmission, because if you want that manual transmission, um, if you don't want the automatic restriction to that you can't drive the manuals, then you need to go somewhere that will teach you how to drive the manual, period. Don't come to Prime and say, hey, there's a chance that I might get on a manual truck, because they almost do not exist anymore. It's been a long time since I've seen the manual truck. So like, make sure you're doing the research and getting to the company that you need to. Damn right they do. Just saying. Ooh, we're going down a lot of them. Hans, don't feel forced to test on automatic transmissions. Tennessee, what you think?
Yeah, if you want to do a manual, you can request to do manual through Prime.
We got a lot of people.
Also, most of our shop guys don't really know how to drive manuals, so I feel like that's a good factor into them keeping automatics.
So the shop guys can't even drive it.
I can't say for all of them, but I know some of them don't know how.
Don Gonzalez says, man, I was coming down Grapevine today, heading north, and man, it was insane. It's 35 miles per hour going down, and the CHP was
Radar.
Look for that. I'm gonna give that to the guys over there. They look like they want to answer that one.
Highway patrol.
I
I was headed down the Grapevine today, heading north, and it was insane. It's a 35 mile per hour going downhill, and a CHP was redarting. Yeah, highway patrol.
Highway
Wow.
patrol was radar looking for. Okay, so I guess the police were. I didn't know what the
Trucks going fast.
CHP was.
What the speed was. So I noticed we missed over Russ's asked a pretty good question up here.
We missed one.
Yeah.
Okay, I went pretty far up, so go ahead and read it because I don't have it.
All right. He asked, can we explain what the TWIC card is, and do flatbedders need it? I'll hang up and listen. So, Twisted, I'll let you explain it, and then I'll answer the second part since he asked that question to me too.
So this was a flatbedder question right here. So the TWIC card allows you access to get into ports, rail yards, stuff like that. It's pretty much just a identification to get into those. You do your fingerprint, they do a background check, they just make sure that you're not breaking into a port and doing nothing illegal. That's kind of what the TWIC card is for. I really hate that Prime kind of forces you into getting a TWIC card, because I look at it like this. The TWIC card, whenever I was OTR, I used it about once a year. The TWIC card cost, I want to say, what was it, like $125? It was something like that. And the whole point of the TWIC card was so you could get into the ports. But whenever I was over there needing my TWIC card to use it, I read the signs, And the sign said that there was a $50 charge to get into that port. And I'm all like, I use this once a year, and it would cost me $50 if I did not have a TWIC card to get into this port. Or I pay $125 and the thing's good for 2 years or 3 years or whatever it's good for. What? Like, I don't see the big deal of paying the price to get in instead of getting a TWIC card. Go ahead, Mr. Flatbetter. Let's finish
So
that
now,
question out.
flatbedders do need it because we need to get into the ports, and we deliver. We deliver a lot to oil fields, and you need a TWIC card to get into them too, because it's federally saying if they don't trust you getting in, then you could probably be hauling a bomb or something in there to explode it. So yeah, we have to have TWIC card to get into oil fields, the ports, even into Canada.
You think that got put in
Junior
place?
Honduras says, Hans, but the time it takes for someone to learn manual is different for each person. And I agree with that. Everything that you learn here is different for each person. I have some guys that I can train in 14 days. I have some guys that takes 3 weeks. Dalton, were you going to say something? Because I thought I heard you saying something.
I was just kind of curious on the Twix card. He said that could be carrying something illegal, explosives possibly. And I'm curious on if that got put into place after 9/11, because I know we had the huge advance in security after that.
Tennessee, go ahead.
I wouldn't know if it was in place after 9/11 or before 9/11. So
I would have to say that it was probably before 9/11, because that is a lot of sensitive stuff coming across the ocean, across the rail, from all over the place. So I'm going to say that the TWIC card was probably before 9/11, and I'm going to say that it was because it was sensitive areas that had a lot of cargo going back and forth. And I think that it was probably due to drug trafficking. So whenever they were fighting drug trafficking a long time ago, because drug trafficking has been around for a while, I think that they probably enforced that around that time.
That makes sense.
But I don't know 100% for sure. You might be right about the 9/11. I'm not sure.
yeah,
RJ says, LOL, I have ran OTR for a while. I was at the house weekly, my last job, and I stayed on I-95. Horrible area. Hate I-95. You're going from Florida to Washington, or Florida to the Northeast. That's Transport Workers Identification Certificate. TWIC. So there you go. Anybody that needs those long words, what the TWIC stands for? Chumley, go ahead and read it, man. You can read it the best, I bet.
Transportation work credentials. That's what's up.
someone else that needs his glasses. He had to get closer to the screen just to read it.
I can see. If people are worried about drug testing, don't apply for any transport job. I kind of agree. If you're driving an 80,000-pound vehicle down the road, I don't want somebody that has to be like, man, if they drug test me, if they hair follicle test me, I might have been driving for a long time, but if they hair follicle test me, I'm screwed. I kind of agree with that. Tennessee, what you think on that?
Well, I've been saying it the whole time. I got nothing to hide. I had to change my ways before I became trucking, but I'm not going back that way, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. And the thing is that we made bad decisions in our life, and we had stuff happen because of those bad decisions. We had good stuff happen because of the decisions we made. Everything that we've done in our life make us who we are today. I mean, all of us right here, right now, we've lived a life that some of it was good and some of it was bad. But the thing is that that's made us the person we are today. That has changed us to make us either a better person or a worse person today. It has taught us to learn from our mistakes that we have learned in the past. You know, we've been through some hard stuff, and especially last year. Last year was a hard time, and it's been hard. Like the first time I met Chum Lee over there, it was a hard time, and that's changed my life a lot. Even the other day when Dalton was giving me a ride home from the concert, we kind of, if Christina would have seen us when we first took off, she would have beat us up. And hopefully she's not listening to this live right now because I'm snitching. But we kind of took off from, we got out to get some fuel for his truck. We got some gas for his truck, and we jumped back in, and we weren't wearing our seatbelts for a little while. And I said, bro, seatbelts, man. We are going to get in a lot of trouble for this. So like, we've been through some stuff, but you know what? We've learned from it, and it sucks that we've had this hardship in our life, but we've learned that, hey, you know, we need to do better.
So we got an answer on when the TWIC card came out. We got two people that answered it. GH answered it, and then
Let me
also
scroll down. You said DH? Going down. Down, Little Street and Ranger. DH. GH.
There we go.
And then also Russell answered it too.
I thought you were going to read it.
No, sir. It was implanted after 9/11, and also a good way to know that the holder has a clean background. Transportation Worker Identification Card. That's what TWIC stands for. Also, before 9/11, you could go to Mexico and Canada with your driver's license.
That's some good
Dude,
information.
I missed that. So before 9/11, you could go right across the border, right into Mexico, and get your Corona bottles refilled at the Corona factory. You could take a whole bunch of bottles down there and trade them in, because they would give you a recycling cost, give you so much money on the Corona bottles, and you could get fresh Corona from the factory and bring it right back to like wherever you're partying. Usually it was New Braunfels or South Padre Island. And after 9/11, you needed to have a passport to go across the border. It kind of sucked. Really did. Just behave yourselves and live the best life. Don't do drugs. They're bad. Would definitely cut back a lot of drivers if they got more strict with the drug test. I meant reduce the amount of drivers, you know, and thing about these. So like some of us that have been around a lot, that we always talk a bunch of trash about these cattle haulers. We always make fun of them, because every time you see a cattle hauler, he has a toothpick in his mouth. Tennessee, what's the toothpick for?
Wow.
You haven't heard this? So rumors on the street is that the bull haulers will soak their toothpicks in a bunch of meth. And this is just rumor on the street, and I think it's all BS, but it's kind of funny. They say that the cattle haulers will soak their toothpick in some meth, and then they will, whenever they get sleepy, they'll throw their toothpick in their mouth, get the meth going on, so they'll wake up and be able to drive again. Who knows if it's true or not, but that's word on the street out there.
That's why I looked at it weird, because I've never heard that before. I've been around a lot of bull haulers, and I just know that they like their speed back before the log books got demolished. But I've never heard of the toothpick being soaked in meth.
Yeah, I don't even know if it would work out right, but it sounds legit.
Found a bunch of toothpicks and they found residue.
Oh yeah, Before I forget, Monkey used to be a tow truck driver out in Kansas for hauling rigs, and after being stuck in the ditch or wrecked in the ditch or found in the ditch.
Yeah. Weather conditions.
Yeah. So he's actually was just saying he's seen that a rig was found in the ditch with a bunch of toothpicks in it. So
Really? See, I always thought that it was a bunch of BS and it was fake, but that would explain why you found a bunch of toothpicks in it. Timothy says M&Ms or Skittles if you need to put some color in your mouth. Whoa. Pegleg says hair follicle test can go back as long it has been growing. Uncut hair 10 years. Show 10 years of drug use. Federal law doesn't limit the history to 90 days. Well, from what I was hearing I was looking up for commercial vehicles and stuff like that, and they were saying that for employment, it can only go back to 90 days. Now, federal law does not limit the history to 90 days. Pegleg, send me the link on my phone to what you're looking at because I would like to read it too.
or drop it in Discord.
Yeah, or drop it in Discord because we would love to see that. Junior Honduras said, yes, his student did trifecta. Congratulations on the trifecta. Prime Facebook groups are a bunch of Karens and... Yeah, I believe you there. That's why we do the Discord is because we're not a bunch of Karens. We are if you get on there and you see some memes on the page, you would understand like we are just having a lot of fun on there. Now, as for people needing help, we are very responsive and trying to give you the best information we can. John Gonzalez says that's why I went to a CDL school and tested on a manual so I would not have the restriction on my CDL and it would not limit me. Exactly. I agree with you, man. Do your research, find the place that fits you best, and don't get limited if you don't have to. So if you're bald and have no hair, what do they use?
What hair?
Nose. I just found out tonight that they use the butt crack hair. I don't know how I'll put it nicely.
Or
Dalton looks like he had a word for it.
What?
You got a word for the butt crack hair? You looked like you were about to say something.
No, I was just throwing it out there that they apparently use butt hair as well. Any kind of hair they find on your body.
No, I thought you.
Oh no, definitely not going over there to help Daniel over there with his butt hair.
You just said.
No, I didn't say
He's
nothing.
taking back words that he said over here a minute ago.
Absolutely, I am.
I really wish Junior Honduras would train when I come to Missouri because I really think I get the best training from him. But I can't lie, I'm kind of intermediate by the guy. Intimidated by the guy.
Hey.
Junior Honduras is a great trainer. He seems really blunt. From what I've been seeing, he seems a little blunt. And if you can deal with somebody blunt, then you'll be fine. I'm very blunt too. So, and Tennessee is too. We don't really, I think some of the best trainers are really blunt. So hit that like button. Let's get words from Tennessee. Let's get words from Pegleg real fast. Chum Lee's going to really love this.
Hey everybody, hit that like button, borrow my leg to smash that ding dong bell. Oh, and if you ain't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe too.
I love it, man.
Says that.
I do too. I love it. Holland and West Texas, they use manuals. Yeah, man, that's where I'm from, West Texas. Where are you from? Like I'm from I was born in Odessa and I've been in Lubbock, so like West Texas is oil field. They want you to be able to drive a manual truck over there. They're not playing around. Truck and Trailer says 15 years ago when I got my CDL, there was no such thing as automatic, so I'm glad of it. Yeah, you're not restricted, bro. I was in Grapevine earlier today, going to North Carolina, and I'm now shut down at Lost Hills, California. Good night, Junior, and be safe out there and get the TNT done so you can come pick up whoever his name was. Brian Keith. Hans, can you keep automatic transmissions? You can keep your automatic transmissions. I'll stick with a manual transmission. Super truckers don't play around with those automatics, man. They're good at working a stick.
I'm not even reading. I was reading further down in the chat.
No, sir. We're past that. What's your favorite beer? Mexican beer. Tennessee, what's your favorite beer? Go around the room over there.
It's gonna have to be Corona Mexican beard.
I'm underage.
Budweiser.
He's Bud Heavy over here.
Bowl says every saint has a past and every sinner has a future.
Yeah.
Iconic that you would have a Soka toothpick and drugs. That makes your teeth fall out. Oh, yeah. So meth makes your teeth fall out. You're putting a toothpick in there that's gonna like right on your teeth. Like that's horrible. RJ,
Wow.
I heard that cattle die while on board. The driver gets charged for them.
Yes. And they actually, cattle haulers have there's a law that states that they have to stop so many hours to let them cattle off so they don't get stressed out before the slaughterhouse.
12 hours.
So what I talked to a cattle hauler one time, and what he told me about that is that you have to stop to let all those cattle out to eat, drink, and all that stuff, or they will die. Like they'll die if they don't eat for too long. So what I've heard about that is that they have to stop ever so often at feedlots and stuff like that to let them out and eat and drink and all that stuff, or they'll die. And the truck driver is responsible for everyone that dies. It's going to be a cut in pay. To me, it's going to die at the slaughterhouse anyway. So like, I don't think if you tip the right guy, I don't think they'll find out. Tennessee.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Russell, this one sitting next to me, you should know Dalton, but the other one is my son, Monkey. I call him Monkey, but his real name is Michael. It's always been Monkey to me, so.
Or Chumley.
Or Chumley, I guess.
What you doing in town for?
Here for Harmony's birthday.
Harmony's birthday.
Yeah, she would have been 19 on Sunday.
Yeah. We're having a little get together on Saturday, so
Yep.
Very important. Pegleg says, I don't have the link. I just have past experience in the field on a fire department.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, from Lubbock, from where I'm from. You live in the Arnold Benson, bro? Like, what you know about that? Tech Ghetto before it was destroyed? Truck and trailer, 18 hours, you got to let them out. So I guess every 18 hours you have to let them out.
Dan Monkey said 12. But he's also from the over by the part of the heart of Cattle Run, just north of Dodge City.
So yeah, Dodge City has a big big meat plant over there.
Oh yeah.
Sarah says, I'm looking forward to Saturday.
We all are.
Gonzalez says Corona was first established in 1925, just 7 years after the end of the Great War. These cervezas, or big word, Dalton, be the DD.
I'm trying.
Modelo, the company in Mexico City, Mexico, to celebrate the 10th anniversary.
Appreciate the facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Like I didn't even know that. Hey, now I'm from the Arnett. You hear that from the Arnett? And that's my mother-in-law right there. She says, "Hey, son, love you, love you too. Have a good time." You know, me and her almost got in trouble one time. I'll tell you a story real fast. So we pulled up to a red light. We pulled up to a red light and we were working for Pizza Hut and we were delivery drivers. We pulled up to this red light and she thought her truck could take my truck, and you know the street race was on, and I'm going to tell you right now, I won the street race. But we were working for Pizza Hut and we had these big signs on top of our trucks that said Pizza Hut. So unfortunately, they called Pizza Hut and they said, "Hey, you got two trucks over here racing." So when we got back to the store, our manager Gary was all like, "Were y'all street racing?" I said, "Nope." She said, "Nope." So like we were out there. We worked at Pizza Hut together for a while, and we were street racing out there, but they never found out because we, you know, snitches get stitches. We don't snitch, so we never snitched on each other. Chumlee's over there laughing like he snitched on you before, Dalton.
He's choking out. He's not used to hitting my vape.
Is that salt?
That's a salt Nick with menthol in it.
In my nose.
That's that hardcore stuff, man. You can get hair follicle test on that vape stuff. That stuff's hardcore, man. You see how it almost killed him?
So you got anybody
Yeah,
testing?
go ahead. What were you saying?
You got anybody testing tomorrow?
Oh, wow. We went this far and we haven't even talked about it.
Right.
So since Tennessee asked me, I have nobody testing tomorrow. I was supposed to have somebody testing tomorrow morning, but unfortunately I put in the message too early and did not check on it. I've been super busy with all these loads and different stuff, and a whole bunch of stuff's been going on this month. So unfortunately, my guy's not testing tomorrow morning, and it's pushed off to Saturday. And you know, it's all good because Saturday we'll test out, see what happens. Tennessee Flatbetter, what you got going on? You testing? It's always Friday test day for you.
Yeah, unfortunately, funny story. They held up to the minimum of 14 days. So my guy didn't get eligible. It's too early on Friday, so he's actually going to be testing out on Monday. So I tried to get him on Friday, and they were like, "Yep, need 3 more days."
How about your other tests? I forgot to ask you.
I forgot about to ask that today. I just as soon as I got back with the load that I brought back in, I could jumped in my car and came home, so I could meet Monkey when he got here.
Yeah.
So how about that poll? We've got 31 volts on it so far, and it's almost been an hour and a half on it, or almost an hour on it.
So right now, CDL drug testing opinion, it's gonna be most people voted with urine, 71%. Hair was 29%. So most people in here voted with hair. I meant with urine. Most people voted with urine. The hair only got 29%. And with me, I wouldn't even know which one to vote for. I would have probably went with hair because I'm not tripping about no drug test. I know I'm good, so I don't have to worry about it. I do understand the facts that, hey, I used to do stuff and I'm trying to change my life. But the thing is, if they're if they are only going 90 days back, then I would go with hair because you have to, whenever you try to pass a urine test, you have to clean out, you have to detox, whatever. You have to pretty much go 90 days to detox. Is that correct, or am I completely wrong on that?
Repeat that again.
Detoxing your system for a urine test, how long would that take?
It depends on how big the person is. Um, THC sits in fat cells. So unfortunately, the bigger you are, the longer it's going to stay in your system.
And it could also like how often you use it.
Yeah, and it's also how often you use it.
So how much is in your system?
Right. Depends on how much is in your system. Like I said, it stores itself in fat cells. So if you're a skinnier guy, it takes less time. If you're a bigger guy, it takes longer.
So on the average, what would it be? What would be like, say you used all the time and you're a big guy, how long, like what's the max?
Without actually looking it up, I couldn't really tell you.
If
It's
you
been
had
a
to
long
guess.
time. I've done my research on it, so
I'd say about 2-3 weeks.
What do you say? How long?
About 2-3 weeks if you're not a habitual user.
2 or 3 weeks.
if you're not
That is-
habitual.
If you smoke it every day, all day, daily, it's
So-
going to take a lot longer.
David
What up?
Smith says 60 days.
Who does?
David Smith.
David Smith. 60 days. So I would get in the extra 30 just to be on the safe side. Really. I would.
Sketch says on average 10 to 14 days to be clean of THC from system. But like I said, that also depends on how big of a person you are. An average size guy, yeah, maybe. But a bigger guy, like I said, that THC sits in those fat cells. So even in some companies, even if you got a small trace of any THC, that's still a negative. Or I mean a positive on THC.
Yeah. It depends how much. See, I had a good friend of mine he got a random drug test and it was a low level, a extremely low level, and Prime let him go. And it just depends on the company, on the level once
Right.
you get the test. Like he was told, because he got a CDL cleared and everything, but he was told that the level was so low that they were surprised that Prime let him go. He was told that by kind of rehab he had to do to get his CDL cleared. Awesome guy. I'm gonna get him on the channel sometime. We need to do a video together to kind of talk about that stuff. Trucking in a trailer, how hard is it to be a trainer at Prime? I'm gonna let Tennessee Flatbetter answer this one because he's been having good ones and bad ones here lately, and good ones and bad ones back and forth. So he's got a lot of experience to answer this one.
So how hard is it to be a trainer at Prime? It just becomes patience. I do agree with Prime on the way we have it. 6 months in, you can become a TNT trainer. That's because of you're fresh off the road of being a PSD TNT, and so you're just learning all the basics. You're getting there, so you can start teaching that good behavior towards the next student. Um, as of a trainer already, I've had many of uh, people that struggled, and we just got to have patience for them. Try to do whatever we can to help them out.
Yeah, and what I'm going to tell you on that whole thing right there is how hard is it to be a trainer? Man, it is rough. It is rough. Like I cannot front. It is rough. You have your good days and you have your bad days. You have a guy that you can teach everything to and he can be flawless on the maneuvers. You can come back in the next day and the guy can't even straight line back. It is frustrating. It's a lot of stress, but at times it can be the best thing in the world. Now, one of the biggest rewards you have is after you test out one of those guys that you fought with and struggled, and you sweat and your back hurts and your legs hurt and your feet hurt. Whenever that guy passes the test and you can see in his face how grateful he is after that test and how thankful he is that you helped him get his CDL, it makes it worth it. It does. And don't forget that there's great pay involved. There's really good pay involved. But it is hard. I'm not gonna lie. Like it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of hours, it takes a lot out of you. And it's really stressful and it's draining. And you know, Tennessee's been there. I've been there. We've all been there where we just kind of like, man, I'm mentally drained. I have to get out of here for the day. Like we have been like, you know what? I'm drained. I can't do this today. And like you get halfway through the day and you're all like, man, I fought so hard for this guy, but I am drained. My mind is not right to finish the day. So you might have to be like, you know what? We're going to restart tomorrow. We're going to take a break and we're going to restart tomorrow and start over. So it is hard. It really is. They say 60 days CBD will get you to. And I've heard that. I've heard yes it will and no it won't. So with CBD, I just wouldn't mess with it in the first place. Impossible. So if you do Uber and a passenger just smoked a Snoop Dogg's, bro, if you're gonna write Snoop Dogg in there, you got to know that Snoop Dogg has a double G in it. I can't even read Snoop Dogg without a double G in it. It kind of throws it off, man. SNOOPDO double G. Like, come on, man. You're letting me down on this. So if you do Uber and the passenger just smoked a huge size blunt and gets in your car, does that count as secondhand smoke since you can smell it? No, it does not. No, it does not. If you're smelling it on somebody, it's in their clothes and stuff, and it's not gonna really bug you too much. I'm not no scientist. I haven't done the fact finding on that or nothing like that. I'm not that smart, guys, but I don't think that that's going to get to you. If you're in a concert where like the whole room is cloudy, you can't see through it, you're probably going to get some secondhand smoke. I really don't think that is enough to actually make you test positive, but I think that's the secondhand smoke. Just smelling it on somebody, I don't think that's going to fail you. Russell says, Twisted as a delivery driver for Pizza Hut. Did any woman try to tip you other than money? Biggest tip you ever got? The biggest tip I ever got was I want to say 120. It was over $100. It was to a football game. Now, did women try to tip me anything other than money? I had a had a weird situation that the first thing that comes to mind when you ask me that is I had a weird situation. I was delivering pizza to a hotel, and the guy in the room paid for the pizza, and he handed me some money, and he had some words wrote on it, and I checked it, and it said it said, "Come inside." And I was like, "No." And he flipped it over and it said, "Look inside." And I looked inside and there was a naked chick tied to a chair. And I was like, I'm getting out of here. Because, like, if she's tied to the chair, he might tie me to a chair. And I'm not getting tied to a chair. That's kind of freaky. So it would look like this. Scary people ain't supposed to laugh.
Since when can't we have a sense of humor?
Gene Scott says, "What's up, Twisted in Tennessee?" So Gene Scott's here, and he should be on my truck after I test out my guy on Saturday, right? Yeah, Saturday. So I'm doing my test on Saturday. Unfortunately, it was supposed to be Friday, but unfortunately, it got moved to Saturday. And the freaks are out over there. I heard some trainers don't allow the trainee to use a refrigerator or microwave. Tennessee, go for it.
So that's all on the trainer. I'm not going to be selfish like that. I have use of my fridge and I have use of my my microwave. The freezer portion is mine, but the refrigerator part, I don't care if my student puts, as long as they clean it out when they get off my truck, and keep the microwave clean.
Keep the microwave clean. Okay, so like my thoughts on this is it's kind of like whenever we let students do something like use the refrigerator, some students are disrespectful and they make it harder for the next one. So that trainer you might have, he might be like, "Hey, you can't use my refrigerator." That's because somebody else disrespected them before you and messed it up for everybody. Now, most of the time, the trainers are going to let you use a refrigerator and a microwave. We are human beings. But the truth of the matter is that they bought that. They paid their own money out of their pocket for that. That is theirs. You're not entitled to it. You don't have rights to it. But I'm telling you right now, most trainers are really good at helping you out in that situation. Is there different restrictions and rules for each state when it comes to CDLs, or is it all the same? For the most part, it's going to be all the same for restrictions and rules. Like each state has their own codes for restrictions. Like some states that require glasses, maybe it's a restriction G, some of them are restriction C. You know, there's a lot of different stuff that changes state to state, but most of your CDL stuff is regulated by the federal government, the FMSCA. So, you know, it's mostly federal for your CDL. Now, state of Texas makes you take a Texas CDL general knowledge test, I think is what it's called. And it's an extra test that you would have to take before you could get a CDL in Texas. It's just what they do. They want it. I haven't heard of any other states that really had much to do with that. How long to get through 50,000 miles in TNT for reefer? Tennessee reefer driver, let's hear it.
FBG.
All right, so 50,000 miles reefer. It all depends on your trainer. It doesn't matter what division. The 50,000 miles, and I'll speak for reefer side, so because that's what I pretty much know. If you're averaging 5,000 miles a week, do the math. put in an extra week for time off. So 50,000 divided by 5 is what? It's going to be 10 weeks. 10 weeks plus a week for a week off ends up 11 weeks. Now, the 50,000 miles is the minimum time you have to do, the minimum miles to reach before you can upgrade. Will it only be 50K miles? The answer is we don't know. You could do we kind of do know, but you can do 50,000 miles, and if the truck situation's not there anymore, which it probably will be, then you're still going to be on that truck until the mileage gets taken care of. They're not going to pay you while you're on home time if you take off. And there was a message sent out that's pretty much said, if you're on home time, you're going to the bottom of the list. And, it's kind of what it is. Dude, your mask just left the room. That one that's been set in there, it just completely ran out the room.
What?
That was weird. Oh,
Wow.
It's on the other side of
What, man?
Chumley. Be careful, man. That thing's gonna get you. You must be patient.
Yes, patience is a virtue.
On Facebook, Caroline says, don't forget about CBD oils. They can test you positive even though you're not smoking. And yes, I've heard that, and I've heard that that's not true also. My best bet to you is protect your CDL. Don't even risk the CBD oils.
CBD is regulated, not as strictly, but they're supposed to say that it's less than 0.05%. That
Who's they?
The federal government,
Oh,
but 0.05% can still show a positive on any test, especially if you use a lot of it. And a lot of it, they say that it still has more than that, even though they showed that there's still a risk.
don't risk Bo Osmond says, don't risk THC exposure by using CBD products either. They can still contain THC and claim 0%.
Right. And that's why I was saying it's still to become CBD still has a trace of THC in it, FBG. But it has to be a minimum amount, and that minimum amount is still THC. Regardless, it's going to be in your system. It'll still show
You sound like a robot when you say amount. Say it again.
amount.
Oh, and all of a sudden,
Amount.
watch that on the playback. Steve-O says, what's up, fellows? Just stop by to say hi. Driving in a few minutes, might be going team routes till more trucks are available.
And that's a good idea. Come back, upgrade, and then go back out on TNT or go back out team until a truck comes available.
Yeah, that would be awesome if you can find a trainer that will allow that.
I actually just have a student that just come back. He upgraded and he's going back out team with his trainer till the truck comes ready for him.
It's hard to find a trainer that will do that because it's going to cut into their pay. Right. Because now they're not getting paid as a trainer, they're getting paid as a team truck. Steve-O must drive him back really good for his trainer to let that happen, is what I have to say. Your trainer must say, Steve-O, I know that you know what you're worth, and I'm going to pay you that as long as you stay on my truck a little while longer. And since you're on the list, like, let's take care of you. That's a good trainer. Gonzalez says, is there different rules and regulation in different states when it comes to CDLs, or is it all the same? For the most part, it's all the same. Like I said earlier, different states require different stuff. As for being in a commercial vehicle, you have states that have different rules, like California, you can't go over 55. There's parts of Tennessee in a commercial vehicle, you can't go over 55. There's different stuff like that.
I do know.
Caroline says, as a Uber and Lyft driver, I just air my car out, turn the inside air when I get skunk smell when they get in. Yeah, so you pretty much just have to air your car out, like air it out. Gene says, Texas Special Requirement Test. So there's the name of it. It's the Texas Special Requirement Test is what you have to take. Russell says, have you two ever had a student that tried to use their right foot on the gas in their left foot on the brakes? Yes, I've had that happen several times. People learn how to drive different ways, or some of it's because the guy's been taught on a manual. They got their license driving a manual and they still think that they need to do something with their left foot. I try to start breaking them from the habit. I will tell them, hey, look, you're going to set your brakes on fire. You're going to really mess up the truck because you're getting into a habit of riding your left foot on that brake pedal. And that's what it is a lot of people like to ride their foot on that brake pedal over there, and it's not good in a semi truck. You will catch those things on fire if you're not careful. Like, I've had some people that broke that habit. I had some people I did not break that habit. Tennessee, what you want to put in on that?
I have not had one try to do that yet, but that's my first thing I try to tell my guys is it's not a clutch, it's a brake.
Yeah. Can trucks from another company come to Prime Terminal for tours? I've never seen it. I don't know. You would have to get with a recruiter and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about coming to Prime. You think I could get a tour of the facility?" And I don't even see the benefit in getting a tour of the facility, because we're truck drivers. If you want a tour, go out and drive an interstate somewhere and say, "Oh, this is what you're going to see out of a truck window." I don't know. If you want a tour of the facility, I've seen it on lots of YouTubers' videos, the basketball court, walking through the terminal. Tennessee Flatbedder might be making a video about it in a couple weeks or so, about doing a tour of the facility and stuff like that. Just a video ideal thrown out there. But I haven't ever heard of anyone going on a tour of the facility. Have you, Tennessee?
No, I have seen trucks that do not have Prime on them at all, parked in where we normally park our bobtails, just outside the outbound or inbound. But I haven't heard of anybody trying to take a tour. Usually when they hit the guard shack, they're told, "Hey, what's your business here?" And then if you're not Prime related, they have you turn around and go back out.
You know those trucks that you see over there, this is what I've noticed, is that a lot of trucks that are over there, they're actually there to go talk to Pedigree for buying a new truck or buying a trailer. That's what I've
That's
seen
what I
the
was
most.
thinking when I seen them.
Yeah, that's kind of what they're over there doing, is they got a hold of Pedigree and they looked at the trailer, maybe bought a trailer or bought a truck. Or I don't even know. They might be able to sell a truck to Pedigree. I don't know if Pedigree buys trucks or not. If y'all are looking into buying a truck or a trailer, go ahead and check out Pedigree too. Dude, I need to get sponsored if I'm throwing them a shout out. You get out my refrigerator back there. What are you doing back there? You calm it down on the refrigerator.
Well, I was looking for something to drink and
David Smith says, as a trainer, are you allowed to train a permit holder that would be driving for Prime on your own time? David Smith, see, where you got me thrown off by that question is you say, oh, never mind. I see it now. So, am I able to train somebody that's not working for Prime on my truck? No, that is a Prime truck. We're not allowed to let anyone drive that truck that is not working for Prime. We're not allowed. Steven, your first concert was Twisted. What did you think, bro?
I don't remember much.
So Steven decided to, well, I guess he didn't decide. I thought he was taking a nap on the floor, but what happened, Steven?
From what I was told, I apparently started having a seizure.
Yeah, so our concert got kind of ended a little bit earlier than we wanted to, or that we. So it abruptly got ended before a couple of the last songs because Steven, poor guy, we took him to a concert and bright lights and a bunch of people and it was hot. Had him a little problem and we had to leave early, but it's good to see him sitting over there and he's alive and he's doing great and he got to skip school 1 day or 2 days. How many days you miss school?
Missed one day. How did you miss 2 days? You mean because tomorrow? You're gonna go to Friday?
No,
Why not?
because I just
So he's missing 2 days of school, unfortunately.
Yep.
I hadn't talked to Mom yet about that yet, so
But he had a good time, man. We were like, I was giving a hard time the whole concert. Like I was picking his hand up and saying, like, throw your hand up in the air, man. Like, have a good time. We were having a good time though. What did he say?
I met everybody that performed.
Yeah, Steven was a groupie for the concert. He got to go backstage and all kinds of stuff.
I just went outside because they were all smoking.
yeah, he actually got Twisted's hand.
Both of them.
Both
So
of them.
he was a minor out there with smoking with all the adults down there. No, I'm joking. So Steven went outside at the right time and he walked out the front of the building and they were all smoking cigarettes and hanging out. And Steven got to go shake Twisted's hands. A whole bunch of people. What was his name? Manson? Cody Manson.
Cody,
Go ahead. Who?
Mr. Green.
Yeah. So
BTK.
Antibody Killer and Blaze too, right? Or were they out there too?
Yeah, he got to shake about almost everybody that was performing that night's hand.
Man, I had to sneeze. My bad. Try not to sneeze, but I had to.
So, real quick, Peg Leg says Steven's next concert is going to be ICP.
I wish.
Whoop,
Insane
whoop.
Clown Posse. I don't think that we're gonna have an Insane Clown Posse for a long, long time,
Yeah,
if
a while.
ever. With Violent J having the heart problems, man, I don't think so. Bless you. Thank you. I really didn't think I was gonna sneeze right there, but it came up anyways. Truck and Trailer says, I really want to come to Prime and meet y'all. Well, brother, put in that application, man. I know you're running for yourself for another company, but still. Michael says, at Russell, where's the problem with using both feet? You know, I will kind of tell you where the problem is using both feet. Every time I had somebody that was using both feet, they ended up riding the brake pedal while they were going downhill and they didn't really realize it. What we need them to do is not be riding the brake pedal and use it whenever they need to. So if you're riding the brake pedal going down a mountain, you're going to get it too hot. There's a chance that you could set those brakes on fire. Or get them hot enough that they're not going to work. They become like mush. Tennessee, what you think?
I believe in the same thing. You tend to use both feet regardless if you're not realizing it or not. I don't know how many countless of people, even in my personal vehicle, riding down the street and their brake lights are on. So that tells me they're using 2 feet to drive. They're using their throttle and slightly pressing on their brakes the whole time to keep them brake lights lit. Now in our semis, if you barely push in on it, you ain't going anywhere because it's not going to shift gears. It's basically putting it in neutral with the automated transmissions. Automated. So, but if you put a little bit more pressure, you're riding them brakes.
Yeah.
Yes, we're still live for another 8 minutes.
Yeah, shoot, not even 8 minutes because before your video premieres, everybody loves making popcorn. So not completely because I tell everyone to pop their popcorn for your video. So like there's a little intermission right there. I'm trying to end it as soon as I can. But Michael says, hello, gentlemen. It's Thomas. You were my flatbed trainer about 3 months ago. I'm out on my own as a lease operator right now. Thank you both of you guys for helping me out there on the pad.
Oh, no problem, man. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, Michael, thank you for putting that comment in there, man. Tennessee's out there. He works hard, and it's like getting comments from like some of our old students or like some of my students, some of Tennessee's students. That just re-encourages people that, hey, Tennessee took care of me, Twisted took care of me. Like it's good to see that. And it's also good to see that somebody that Tennessee's helped out and that I kind of helped out, we influenced them to do better and become better in their life. And, it's a great feeling when we get comments like that. It really is. And Tennessee works hard out there.
Oh, I try to work hard out there. That's my main goal, is do my best for my students.
Use that Jake and downhill assist is awesome. Yeah, dude, I love the Jakes, man. Like it sounds like the truck gets louder. It's fun. Pegleg says, I use my left foot for all 3 pedals after my foot got lost. Pegleg just kicks that thing off and lets it fall on all the pedals. Russell says, Twisted Big D's at a Taylor Swift concert. Man, I'm telling you what, Taylor Swift goes hard. You can wash out good in that. Michael says he was patient with me, letting me go home to the wife and the newborn.
Oh, man, yeah. That's
awesome.
See, Michael was from St. Louis.
Oh, okay. So that was a quick skip and a hop to go home. Yep. I remember Michael.
Not too long before he came. So,
yeah, I remember him now. Now I remember him. Just Fun Gaming says, how bad is flatbed in the winter? Dude, I'm pretty sure it sucks.
It's still the same thing. You still got to do.
Yeah, that's right. He's from Kansas.
I did that before to you, Michael. I did that before. I said St. Louis, and I meant Kansas City.
Yeah, because I remember because he was supposed to work with me, and I say, you know what? I said, Tennessee ain't gonna be here tomorrow. Go ahead. Like that, he was a guy that I had to work with on the weekend, and I said, you know what, Tennessee ain't gonna be here tomorrow. So you just go ahead and go up to Kansas City, and you be back on Sunday or Monday or something like that, and we will do some backing maneuvers. And he was all like, what? And Tennessee, I got with him, and he's like, yeah, that's cool, man. Let him go. Y'all safe out there. Love our trucking family. Hey, thank you, Caroline. I appreciate it. Thanks for sticking by us and watching us too. We are out of here because we need to get that 5 minutes of popping popcorn. I hope that the bag on the popcorn does not say it takes 6 minutes, or we're gonna be late to the premiere of Tennessee's new video about
What's in the bag?
what's in the bag.
Bag.
So we're out of here. Thanks for jumping in here. Like, comment, and subscribe. 3,000 subscribers coming up. We're gonna do that big giveaway. Make sure you check out Tennessee Flatbedder's channel. He's out here helping me all the time, and he's answering questions, jumping in here for you guys. And here's your 5 minutes till his video pops up. Enjoy your popcorn. You can stay in this live. It will redirect you if you're on YouTube to his video.